I have a symbiotic relationship with my cancer. Give it a name, Fred, or something like that. No, I don't, but it is very much, it's become part of my life.
For Sam Spero and his wife Daryl, it began in 2000. Mr. Spero, a volunteer cantor, started losing his voice. He went to his doctor in Cleveland.
And he said, I think we should take a biopsy. And they did, of my thyroid, and it was papillary cancer, thyroid papillary cancer. The reason my voice had become very hoarse was because the cancer had spread on one of the nerves, laryngeal nerves, that control the vocal cords. And one cord was essentially dead. I was beautiful then.
With early diagnosis, thyroid cancer has a 97% cure rate.
When I first was presented with papillary thyroid cancer, they said, no one dies from thyroid cancer. Easy cancer. Revo picked me up on Wednesday.
Doctors scheduled an immediate surgery to remove the cancerous cells. The outcome wasn't what they'd hoped.
When the surgeon came out of of my operation, he looked at my wife and he said, gee, I give your husband a 50-50 chance.
Well, not exactly like that.
What did he say?
He said it was spread, and he took off whatever he could, but he couldn't get all of it.
Eventually, tumors grew in his sternum and in his ribs.
I was what they call stage 4. So it had been pretty advanced. There's this hierarchy with thyroid cancer. We have this iodine 131, we have the surgery. When you're past that, there's nothing for thyroid cancer, except experimental stuff.
Mr. Spero is hoping he is at the forefront of a scientific breakthrough, over a decade in the making.
I say that you're the astronauts. You're going where no man's gone before. You're taking that first step for man.
Mr. Spero's doctors in Cleveland sent him to Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York, where Dr. Gary Schwartz is approaching cancer by looking at DNA.
110/70. We have a gene called BRAF. It's B-RAF, BRAF. And this is called an oncogene. And so oncogenes are genes that, when activated, make cancer cells develop and make cancer cells grow.
Tests have revealed that Mr. Spero's BRAF gene has mutated, creating a protein that enables his tumors to grow.
The tumor is absolutely dependent on that protein for survival. And if you turn that protein off, like a switch, the cancer cell no longer can live.
Unlike traditional chemotherapies, which kill both healthy and cancerous cells alike, a new tactic aims only at the BRAF mutation, which is present in 40% of thyroid cancers and about half of melanomas.
And this is the advent of what we call targeted therapy. Can you make a drug specific for that one gene?
After about a decade of laboratory studies, doctors and pharmaceutical researchers hope they have.
Yeah, I'll take them right now.
So does Sam Spero.
2 of these.
He is among the first humans to test a BRAF inhibitor in a phase 1 drug trial by a biotechnology firm. The drug is codenamed XL281.
Okay, and that's when you
Take my medicines and go back to bed. This is a really good chance for me, and I'm very, very hopeful.
But he is acutely aware of the experimental nature of the trial. The primary purpose of a phase 1 study is to determine the safe dosages for humans, and nothing is guaranteed.
You had to sign consent forms that it might cause your death. That's the main one that I don't like to sign. And it may cause you a heart attack, it may cause a stroke, all kinds of things could happen.
So these are our experiments in which patients are willing to participate. We try to make sure the patient will ultimately benefit from these drugs, but there's no guarantee.
30 minutes. Okay, that's a good one. Definitely moments when he feels upset, scared. I mean, once during this trial, he felt so not well that he said, I'm getting off of this tomorrow. But that was rare.
We have.
In 2 weeks, Mr. Spero will find out if the XL281 is helping his cancer.
See you back with the CAT scans in 2 weeks.
That's going to be, it's CAT scan and MRI. You'll have both of them.
That's right.
Back. That's going to be an important one. Yeah. So I'll be nervous before that one. Okay.
Yeah. I think we're going to be in good shape.
I hope so. I will be very anxious in 2 weeks, as will my wife. The scan is around 330. First one, and then the MRI is around 4. If it's growing, I'm off the trial. It's done, finished.
I guess, okay, your husband just moved the phone closer to my to the desk, so I'm speaking. So I gotta say that the lesions in the lung look pretty much stable, and there's been no significant growth looking at all the lesions in the lung across the board. However, in the back area, there's one spot that does look bigger to me that is of concern. That lesion is bigger. It's in the lower back area.
Is it in bone or is it soft tissue?
It's in the bone. It's in the
Okay.
bone. You know, you look at the little bit, the growth in the bone. That growth, I mean, it was significant. I think.
Okay. This is basically good news that the XL281 is working.
I believe it's working in everything but the backbone.
Okay, and that's bone. Okay, but if it's amenable to radiation, then it's still all right.
Then
The
I think
mediastinum
it's all right.
was not.
That's right.
So okay, that's good. I am encouraged by this.
So I'm encouraged by this also.
Okay, so we got to find out the next steps.
How to
Radiation.
how to take care of the bone and go back to the rest of the
rest of the
disease.
thing.
There were several indications of response to therapy, but unfortunately there was one area in the bone that seemed to be increasing on his scans. And despite the radiation that he had, unfortunately it continued to grow, and he eventually failed the drug program.
While Mr. Spero was eventually taken off the trial, doctors were initially encouraged by his response to the drug.
And that's the really the unanswered question: how long can these responses last? We're still learning a lot about this drug, about these drugs, about these pathways.
In part 2, what happens when an experimental drug begins working.
Life-saving. I mean, yeah.